Good evening and a blessed winter solstice to you this evening. The solstice actually happened at 4:48 today in the Northern Hemisphere. We'll talk a little bit more about it, but I'm so delighted that you have chosen to spend your evening here for a few moments to go into the stillness and to invoke the power that this celestial event offers us at this time of year, this season, and in our lives. We're going to do things a little bit differently this evening. We are going to first work with the card from the beautiful Earth Magic deck of cards, the Winter Solstice card. And when we do that, we're going to read a little bit about it like we used to do when we had the Earth Magic cards. So these are a beautiful deck of cards. But this evening, we're going to pull the Winter Solstice card. We're going to read a little bit about the solstice's background, and then we are going to invoke the elements for tonight's solstice and do a little ritual where we draw from our Osho Zen Tarot deck, which we've been using for several weeks now. And we're going to pull all of the cards, where I pulled all of the cards that represent the elements that we are going to invoke that the tarot deck represents. So we're going to invoke, for instance, we're going to invoke the earth element in the north. We're going to invoke the air element in the east, and the fire element in the south, and the water element in the west. So we're going to draw a card from each of those areas, and then we're going to allow them to kind of speak for themselves as that 4-card draw, and allow that to be our winter solstice message. Now, before we go into meditation, we like to prepare by setting an intention. And what a great time to do that on this winter solstice night, which is the shortest day and the longest night of the year. And so tonight's intention, we're going to be a little more specific. We're going to ask you to think about, reflect on that which no longer serves you, that's working in your life. Maybe it's a relationship, maybe it's a situation, maybe it's just an emotion that is no longer serving you, or a story about yourself that is no longer serving you, that you can let go of. And so you're going to either write that down on a little slip of paper, or mentally make a note of it. And then on the reverse side of that same piece of paper, or in your mind, you are going to state a claim for the coming winter. So what is germinating with you? What are you going into reflection to work out in your life, to claim in your life? So what are we letting go of? And basically, what are we bringing to us in the reflective, hibernating, germinating winter season? So that's easy enough. And then we're going to draw those cards after we read about the winter solstice, and we'll do a little bit of meditation. So everything's a little different in honor of this beautiful day and this wonderful opportunity to reflect more deeply, specifically about the ideas of light and darkness in our lives. So let's set that intention before we hear more about the solstice, if you would like. So again, on one side of your slip of paper, if you have, it doesn't matter what you're using, if you want to write what you are letting go of on this solstice evening, and then on the other side, what you would like to receive in the coming season, or what you would like to have germinate and grow to be manifest when the light returns in the spring and the summer. So again, what we're letting go of: emotion, relationship, situation, story. And then perhaps what we would like to receive as the story of ourselves that we haven't perhaps envisioned before or thought of before. So what we're letting go of. All right, so I've written my own, and because we love to send these intentions out into the universe in a ball of flame, I'm going to write the words everyone's intentions on this other slip of paper. So you can see it there. You can see the glare. And so this is the one that's going to collect all of the intentions of everybody participating in this meditation, in this experience, in this ritual, from wherever and whenever you are participating. So we're going to gather it all here as we meditate, and then we're going to light it and send it out to the flame so that all of our intentions, all of our releasing and all of our receiving is going out into the universe to be collected and to be given over to our deeper selves, to the higher power that is also our deeper selves, to return to us in the coming winter months as the spring approaches. So we've set that intention. I've got mine sitting right here. And so we're going to start tonight by learning a little bit more about the winter solstice, what it means and what it means for us spiritually. And we will do that by showing you the winter solstice card and then reading about it from this beautiful Earth Magic book. And so you can see that this card in the winter solstice is about reflection. So we've called this meditation our winter solstice stillness. So if you look at this beautiful card, it's quiet. The water is, if it is not frozen, it is still as glass. The trees have let go of their leaves, and there is a snow blanketing the ground. There is stillness. There is quiet. And because this is the longest period of night and the shortest period of day of the entire year, we are entering into, or we've just moved through, or moving through the period of darkness. So longest period of darkness, shortest daylight of the entire year. What does that mean for us? So let us read more about the winter solstice. Again, it is a period of reflection. This midpoint of winter, it's actually the start of winter, is not only the shortest day of the year, but also the longest night. The world is very still and the land dormant. Various festivals of light are celebrated and have been for thousands of years, serving as a reminder that the light will indeed return. As a matter of fact, it is returning as we speak. Throughout many cultures, there are tales describing this time as the birth of the archetypal Sun King, including the Christian story of Jesus' birth, representing the hope of renewal from the darkest period of the solar cycle. This image portrays a simple yet powerful representation of the winter solstice. We are a clear reflection of the snowy woods and the still frozen waters of the lake. The blue tint drapes the scene with an even greater sense of quiet and solace, inviting us to walk very softly, lest we disturb the intense yet gentle grace of this scene. The reflection of the trees on the frozen lake reminds us that this is a time for us to go inside to both our physical shelter as well as our internal world. And there contemplate the season that has passed, the season that is, and the season that is yet to come. So this is the time to review our past year and ask ourselves what the most important lessons we've learned from the year have been, what we've accomplished, and what dreams and visions we want to manifest in the coming year. Whether it's been a relatively smooth ride or a challenging series of events, we want to acknowledge our experiences as being the work of Source, and that Source being the greater power as well as the deep source within. No matter what judgments, fears, or joys we've had, we're going to honor whatever has happened over the previous several months with gratitude and forgiveness and grace. And then we're going to let it go. We're going to allow ourselves some solitude and stillness as we are doing it this evening so that we can reflect. So this is a powerful time. It is a time where we've passed through the longest period of darkness, the shortest day of the year. But as the solstice has occurred, so does the light begin to return. So we literally have brighter days ahead from this day forward. Now, I don't know about you, but when I was a kid, it always seemed like February had the shortest days of the year. So as the January and February months, we move through them, those seem to be shorter and shorter days. But the fact of the matter is, this day, December 21st or 2nd, depending on when it occurs each year, is the shortest day of the year. So all of our days are getting longer from this point forward. Brighter days are ahead. And yet it is time for us to understand that in order to know the light, we must know the darkness. We must not only know the darkness, we must understand it as necessary for our health and well-being. Just like we pull the shades when we go to sleep overnight so that we can have rest in the dark and avoid the light while we sleep. Just as we've been encouraged to turn off our screens every night and to ensure that we don't have blue light going, which most mimics daylight, so that we can get our rest, so can we recognize darkness as something that is restorative and restful and still. So this is that time. And as I've said before, I've often encouraged us, because we are celebrating the return of the light once the solstice occurs, to be the light. I also encourage us tonight, for the most part, tonight only, to also be the darkness. Be the darkness that is gentle. Be the darkness that embraces us, that holds us close, and that restores us so that we can begin to awaken as the winter months, as we make it through our hibernation of the winter months. So embrace it and know that it is necessary and that is restorative for us. So with that in mind, we know the solstice is a time of restoration and reflection. Let's see what it is asking us to reflect on. I'm going to draw our cards representing each of the areas, of the elements and the areas. And so I'm drawing our first card. So this, we're going to draw from the north first, which represents the earth and the material world. In the tarot deck, this is the deck of pentacles or discs. Again, our material life is what the card draw tonight is representing. And our first card this evening is, back to this one, which I can show you here, is comparison. So again, this is our earth card, comparison. We see a bamboo stalk alongside a tree. And so we know that the bamboo stalk is comparing itself to the tree in the earth. I'm going to lay that down. We're going to see all of these from above in just a moment. So we've got comparison from the north. And again, these are all coming together to form our winter solstice message. From the east we go, shuffling these. And so again, we're determining that these cards are how we are letting go and receiving our desires for the coming season, letting go of what doesn't work for us, receiving what we would like, what we envision for ourselves, and a card for the East, which represents air, which represents our thoughts and our will. We have got adventure. Nice. Beautiful. So we've got comparison and adventure on the horizon for ourselves. Beautiful. Now we go to the south. South is where we see fire. It is representing our passion. It is representing what drives us, what energizes us, what inspires us. So our fire card we draw is exhaustion. All right. So comparison and adventure and exhaustion. Our final card that we will draw will be from the west, and the water, which represents our emotions, which represents the flow in our lives. So we know our solstice is about reflecting, and we know that we're getting a very special message as we have invoked the elements for these cards this evening. And our card for the west and the water is understanding. Beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. So we've got 4 beautiful cards representing our elements. I'm going to show you an aerial shot of those cards next, so we can see. So there we have them. So if we look at our elements that are being represented, we have started in the north, and we've got, which is represented by a beautiful ornament that is a gift of my dear friend Kathleen. So this represents our discs, the earth, the land, our material life. And that is about comparison tonight. So we're starting there. We're seeing the bamboo compare itself to the tree trunk, and seeing that that they are each unique in their own way. Next, we have represented by air, the sense of adventure. We see the beauty of the child setting out, going into the light, into a fabulous new place that perhaps we've never ever seen before. So maybe our comparison or lack thereof, or our ability to do so, has engaged us in a brand new adventure. Perhaps we have determined that we don't need to compare ourselves, that we need to set out on our own without comparing ourselves to others to begin this great adventure. Next, from the south, representing our fire and our passion, we see the card that says exhaustion. Now, we've had this card before. It's hard to see it close up here, but we can see that there's a lot going on. Our figure has taken on a lot of burden in pursuing their passion. And so I think our card, when aligned with our brand new adventure, is just a way of reminding ourselves that we must continue to rest. We must continue to renew ourselves and refresh ourselves in order for our passion to remain manifest. And so if you look at this card as representing perhaps what we've chosen to manifest this evening on our intention sheet, this is one where we might not have to work as hard as we think. We might be able to sit and relax, consider this experience and adventure, and allow it to happen for us. but knowing that making ourselves exhausted is never the way to effectively and easily reach what we need to reach. We can just let that go and not be exhausted. Finally, beautiful card, understanding for the west and the water. So we've got this represented by the chalice, the cups. This is the cups suit in the tarot deck. Oh, and I should say that in the south for the fire, that is represented by the wands in the tarot deck. So our cups show us a sense of understanding. If we go in order of our adventure, we're going to see that we begin perhaps ending this year with comparison. We are all subject to social media in our lives, comparing ourselves to other people, but there's no need. The bamboo stalk is its own, it has its own essence. It need not compare itself to the tree trunk. The tree is strong in its own way, and bamboo is strong in its own way. Now, if we have decided that we no longer need to compare ourselves to others, we can begin our own adventure of determining what adventure awaits us as the bamboo stalk or as the tree trunk, whatever our unique being is. This is where the adventure begins. We want to make sure that as we set out on that adventure, that we rest, that we take time, we make time to relax and to enjoy the experience that is calling us, because we want to not become exhausted. We don't want to burn ourselves out from the pursuit of our passion. We want that fire to blaze brightly and not burn as embers because we have exhausted ourselves of any inspiration or any sense of adventure. And then finally, if you just, this final card, if we end up in the west, we see the beautiful dove flying, and we know that there is a deeper sense of ourselves and alignment that we have experienced during this period, during this season, during this winter time, where we can come out as we reach the equinox, where the light and the dark are equal, and then as we continue to move toward the light of the summer solstice, we have the longest period of daylight and the shortest period of nighttime in the year, that understanding who we are and how we are aligned with the rest of our brothers and sisters and beings in the world will enable us to reach that sense of peace that we see in the doves as they soar into their space. So we've got a beautiful, beautiful experience this evening from our four elements representing four aspects of our lives and giving us our look at the winter months ahead. And so let's move beyond comparison. Let's find our own adventure. Let's avoid being exhausted from pursuing our passions. And finally, let's come out as we've been on this adventure with a sense of understanding of ourselves, and through that, our understanding of humanity and our brothers and sisters and the world and the earth. What a beautiful message. What a beautiful message. And so why don't we now make the time ourselves to go into our own meditative state, to reflect on these cards, on the adventure that awaits us, on whatever we feel is the important thing to focus on as we move into our deeper selves. So let's start by getting comfortable. I'm going to leave the altar up with the cards and the elements and all of their representatives. The sword and the wand and the chalice, the cup and the discs, pentacles, representing all those areas. Let us take a deep breath. And exhale as we release. Inhaling fully and exhaling fully. Allowing our breath to return to a comfortable pace. As we begin to reflect on what we've learned from our cards this evening, and what we are seeking to learn from our solstice experience, as we embrace the gentle, restorative properties of the darkness. Deeper and deeper we go into ourselves. More and more relaxed. Now that we've reached our state of relaxation, we know what we have determined, what we've intended to release. Perhaps starting in this meditation and having that being released throughout the winter months ahead. We know what we are calling to us to receive, our heart's desire. Knowing as we state that heart's desire that it is on its way to us as we speak. It is part of us already as we speak, as we meditate, and as we envision. And so we know what we are letting go of, we know what we seek to receive. We're just going to reflect the words of the cards that we have seen this evening, representing the elements, representing our journey this winter. We started in the north with comparison, the bamboo and the tree trunk. And however we see ourselves in that card as the tree trunk or the bamboo stalk, we know in this deep space that we need not compare ourselves or try to be or become anything that we are not. We embrace ourselves as the stalk of bamboo or the tree trunk, each having its own beautiful properties of strength and power and beauty and stateliness. And next, we moved on to our adventure, the card that we drew as we approached the south, or as we approached the east. Which represents air, our thoughts, our will, and we know as we've drawn this card that as we've released our comparison of ourselves from others, so have we embarked on our beautiful new adventure. Walking into the unknown, but knowing with expectancy how beautiful the opportunities are, knowing we are not alone. Next, we move to the south. Where we receive the message of exhaustion, which is just a heads up that as we pursue our adventure with passion and inspiration, that we avoid wearing ourselves out as we pursue the fire in our soul, the driving energy of creativity, of passion. We see this card not as a warning, but as a gentle reminder that in the pursuit of our passion, rest is important so that fire does not burn out and stays tended to, that our restorative experiences help us keep those flames ablaze. Now as we move toward the west, where we experience the flow of water, in the power of our emotions. We recall our card of understanding. Which is a beautiful endpoint of the adventure for this season. That wherever we've gone, whatever we've seen, we've reached a level of understanding. And if we think of our first card of comparison, what we've achieved, where we end up in this season, or where we would like to set as an intention, is that understanding. So that the tree, trunk, and the bamboo stalk, whichever one we are, has experienced in our lives the adventure that helps us understand in some way the other. If I am the bamboo stalk, I now can understand the experience of the tree trunk without being the tree trunk. Likewise, if I am the tree trunk, I can understand the stalk of bamboo without needing to be the bamboo stalk. Understanding sets us free. From the bondage of separateness to the understanding of alignment, where we soar, become more of who we are, and begin a brand new journey with a new season. Comparison leads to adventure, leads to a fire so brightly burning we must remember to restore ourselves, so that when we reach our destination, we have a level of understanding that aligns us with humanity, with the source that is without and the source that is deep within. And now with this understanding, with this clarity, or perhaps with this sense of excitement that will seek and need more clarity in the coming days and months, but that excites us like any adventure would, we choose to return to our material, physical selves. And we do that by discovering that breath that has held us in our space, inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling again, and exhaling. One more deep breath, inhaling and exhaling. we can find ourselves right back here in our space, in our comfortable nest that we've made for ourselves, reflecting on what we've learned this evening. I do hope that this evening, this experience helps you make more time in the coming months where we hibernate, where we stay comfy and cozy in our homes, beneath our blankets, curled up with our animals or loved ones or both. Really understand the adventure that we're on. Understand that journey. And to embrace all that we must do to make it happen. So with that, let us take those intentions. Let us send them out into the flames, into the fire. And we'll start with mine right here. Send it out into the universe. Burning. Yes, yes, yes. There she glows, there she burns. All right, and so this is everyone's intentions, which we say we're going to learn every week, and this, once again, is one of those weeks. So out into the flames go our intentions, where we let go of what we need to let go of, where we manifest what we ask to manifest. To the flames, and so it is. I'm so grateful you all have been here. Let's check to see who is here tonight. And hopefully, if you're not here in real time, you will be joining us at some point soon, either on YouTube Live or, of course, on Facebook Live. Not seeing anybody on YouTube, let's check Facebook, and we know that Facebook always takes me to a place where I sometimes don't get to see everybody that is there, or I don't acknowledge you or make a comment, so please forgive me if I haven't made it. Oh, look at this. There's Rhea. There's Michelle Wyatt. Oh my goodness. How nice to see you, Michelle. Thank you for joining tonight. I'm so glad to see you. What a beautiful surprise. There's Mina, who is a steady, just like Rhea is. I'm so glad you all were here. Anybody else that joins tonight, I'm so grateful for you and for this practice that we've made. We're here every Wednesday, but we know that we can drop in. So this is nothing that is obligatory, but it certainly is lovely that we continue to join whenever we can and be a part of this experience whenever we can. This will be our final meditation for this year because I will be away, or actually I'll be returning home from my Christmas respite, going with my husband away to New York City. Very excited, so we'll be on our way back next Wednesday evening. So we will see you after the first of the year, where we will begin a whole new set of wonderful, beautiful meditations and engage in this practice for 2023. I wish you all the happiest, most blessed solstice today, and the happiest of whatever holiday you celebrate, if it is only making time for you and your family in the coming weeks, and a very beautiful and happy New Year. I love you.